seek your permission to speak in English because I am not conversant with Hindi. Respected Dr. Swamiji, and my other fellow Ramabhaktas on the dais and off the dais. Though I have stated this as a Ramabhakta, I want to keep aside my emotions for some time and see this Rama issue as a pure legal issue. As all of you know, the matter is pending in Supreme Court, and it is my endeavor to tell you in brief what is our stand in this Rajagopalan case. Let us not go to history for a time being. We will only analyze few facts which happened in 1949. In 1949 December, all of you know that in the structure which is said to have been built by Babur, these Rama idols were installed. It is according to Hindus, this particular structure was abandoned long back. That is in 1938, when there was a serious problem between Hindus and Muslims. The structure was partly demolished, and it is a British government reconstructed it at that time, spending about 16 or 17,000 rupees, 1938. So, in complete vacant place, because the entire place is abandoned, we went and installed those idols. Even thereafter, there was absolutely no litigation initiated by any other parties, including Muslims. Curiously, in 1959, you know, all of you know what is Limitation Act. I'll just read it to you. Suppose you lend about 10,000 rupees to somebody. The law provides that within what time you should recover it. For example, 3 years. Like that somebody is occupying your property, he wants to buy a suit, the law provides a limitation. Like that for everything, law provides a limitation. And the limitation has explained that no Muslims ever filed any proceedings. Curiously, in 1959, then Congress government introduced an amendment, introduced an act extending the period of limitation for all works. See, now you know what is the root cause of this problems. So, they straight away from the day, originally the limitation was only 6 years as per the 1898 Act. So, 1959 a new law is made that if you are dispossessed, you can file a suit within 12 years from the date of dispossession. So, this new law was introduced by Rajagopalan, and thereafter, exactly 1 day before the 12th year expires, the Muslim Waqf Board files a suit for declaration that this property is a Waqf property. I will tell you what is Waqf, and the idols there should be immediately removed. Anyway, in spite of the law, whether the law of suit is still within limitation is another matter. It is a slightly a complicated issue. I don't want to go into it. But let us look at this suit filed by. With regard to other suits, we need not bother. This filed by our own people, saying that this is a Ram temple, etc., etc. We are now mainly concerned with the suit filed by Sunni Waqf Board. What is Waqf? Waqf is a trust. We call it as trust. We create some trust for doing good things. Similarly, in Islamic law, if you create a trust, if you dedicate a property for building a mosque or having a graveyard or doing something connected with Islam, then it is known as Waqf. A person who manages it is known as a mutawalli. This is basically what is Waqf. Therefore, if you want to create a Waqf, I want to create a Waqf, is, I give my property to God and create a waqf. Suppose all of you know, all Maharashtra, particularly our families are Ganesh Bhaktas, and most of the Maharashtrians are Ganesh Bhaktas, all of you know. Suppose you decide to give a coconut to Lord Ganesha. You go to a shop and without telling the shopkeeper owner, take a coconut and offer it to Lord Ganesha. Is it the proper offering of coconut to Lord Ganesha? No. So what this man did, the Muslim king's commander, he came and on his own occupied that place. And demolished an existing building, existing temple, and part of it he left up to this level, one level. Beyond that, he converted it as a dome structure. Of course, there is a controversy in North India, even Hindu structures or like dome structures. I do not want to go into the issue. So, now, the suit filed by them, they say, in the war that took place in 1525, Mir Kafir, commander of border, there is one more controversy because Mir Kafir is a Shia. Who built the Shia assembly? There is a controversy. I will complete it later. So, we went and occupied that place. Several persons died in the war, and therefore we buried all of them in that site. And there is a structure put up. Therefore it is a waqf, and therefore we are entitled to have the possession of it. Waqf. This is what they have stated. So what they have admitted is that they have trespassed into the land during the war and buried bodies there. So the question is whether this could be really a waqf in the idea of law. Suppose you go and occupy somebody's property and offer it to God. How can you say it is whether valid or as it is man to man? You may say, I want the limitation, this evidence is there, the evidence is not that, but as it is man to God, can you say, I offer this man's property to you? No, what happened? The first book was written by Muhammad Nabi himself. A very important he wanted to build a prayer hall in a place. That place, two brothers. So the brothers came and said, now you are a big prophet and we will give this land and you build it. You know what? The Muhammad said, I will not take this. If you want to do good things, you do it on your own. But as far as this land is concerned, I will pay you the money, take the land, and then offer it to God. This is what is really the first waqf in Islam, and this is how it is done. As all of you know, maybe because somebody is Raja or somebody, he does not own the land. He can only collect tax. So, suppose a robber is a Chakravarti or something like that. The question is whether within his jurisdiction, whether he can on his own allot some land for offering worship. It is not possible. You know, we have an act known as Zerbi, our law code. The Muslim law is also like that, the Hindu law is also like that. Except in England, the law is different. The king owns the land. In other parts of the world, it is only the citizens who own the land, and the king only collects the tax for maintaining it. Now, we have a Land Acquisition Act, what is known as Land Acquisition Act. The government does not come and occupy the place immediately. It gives a notification, it offers a compensation according to the market value, then take the land, and then land is acquired. Now what happened in this case? Somebody in the war came and occupied it, and now say this is a tough property. This is what we argue, that can somebody create a work in a property which is trespassing. The court has accepted it and said it is not a valid work. This is the first step. The second is, they claim it is a mosque. But there are some more than, people say Islam and Christianity came for, because of course there is one theory in the food fund of Puranas and that, where our own Christians are online, because they want to fight this ritualism. But actually what we see, the Muslims are more ritualistic than Hindus. So without washing their hands, or they have a set of rules which, so when the mosque is built, they always take care to see the two things are permanently made there. One is the minar. Minar, in those days, we don't have this mics and all those things. So in the afternoon, they get up on the minar and shout so that people will come for prayer. This is the purpose of minar. And then the people will come and wash their hands, ablution what we call, and go inside. So these two aspects are absent in the building. That on that ground, the court held that this is not a mosque. Now, we will come to the question whether, what is their own evidence about this Ram Mandir. Of course, Ayodhya is one of the 7 moksha places. The other places are there, Kanchi, other places. Is a moksha. The moksha because Ram was born there. Here, in our system, how justice was maintained, you should see. You know, Ravana had a boon that he can be killed only by a man. Because he thought man is useless. Because he is not powerful or something like that. So the boon was given to him. And when therefore it was decided that the Vishnu should be born as a man. But if Vishnu had, like the Krishna, if he had 100% divinity in him, his boon cannot work. Because the boon is against, because he should be a man. Then what should be done? So, if you see Valmiki Ramayana, Rama was only 50% of Vishnu. Bharata is 25%. Lakshmana and Shatrugna put together was 12.5%, 12.5%. Therefore, if a man is 51% divine, then he ceases to be a man. Therefore, even the gods respected their own words and created incarnation so that the boon is correctly achieved. So, it is like that. Now, Rama is not there. We, of course, Ramji spoke about it. I did not fully follow because it was in Hindi. There are only two literatures in India is called Itihas. This is Ramayana and Mahabharata. The history meaning of the word Itihas is history. Then why are you talking about history? See, we never had the habit of recording like Westerners. It is only done through literatures. With all literatures, this Ramayana and Mahabharata was called an Itihas. So this is as what happened is the exact translation. Now if you see, take Ayodhya. The Muslims were against this idol worship. And this Ram factor or Krishna factor was very much against them. They could not really do anything with this majority population. Therefore, they decided which spot should be attacked. One, what is place of birth of Rama? This is very important. So that was attacked. Then where he went into Swargadwar. There is one more place in Ayodhya, and of course all of you know Kashi Vishwanath and Krishna Janmabhoomi. So therefore it was submitted by us before the court. The fact of the selection of the site itself shows that it is important to Hindus. It is not as if you have demolished all other structures. So the fact you have chose this shows that it is something very important to Hindus. Now here the story of the Shia and Sunni comes. There the cat was out of the bag. Now what happened was, there is a caretaker for the mosque. So what he did, he was a Shia. So Akbar gave some money for maintaining this structure, and the money was lying with the government, Bakboard. Then this man wrote a petition to the Bakboard, saying, no, this is built by some commander, Shia commander. I was selected by him, my family has been maintaining this. Therefore, this is a Shia mosque and not a Sunni mosque. And therefore, the Sunni Bakboard has no right at all. So he wrote a petition. We are very expert in writing petitions all throughout our country. Petition after petition, we will write. Then what happened? The Shia Bakboard has to decide it. Then they collected all the evidence and kept with them, and they passed an order. Here is the beauty. The first line in the order, they said, this is a case relating to Janmastan Mosque. I asked myself and asked the judge, is there any Muslim saint buried there? So the evidence that is preserved, it is description they have given as Ram Court. That description of the area is Ram Court. And of course we have other things which we will not go into detail because of limited time. So, Janmastan is therefore, the Muslims are correctly understood. This as a Janmastan of Rama, and therefore to insert this, the structure has come. Do you require any other evidence than this? I don't think. In fact, from our school days, we have been studying. I was really surprised when the judge asked me, what is the proof of Ramayana? I told the judge, sir, I am studying from my second standard, third standard. I have been studying in history books. The Mughal came, demolished all buildings, and took away the wealth, and this temple was demolished, that temple was demolished. And Ghazni Muhammad came 17 times to Somnath. We have studied all these things, and now you are asking me to prove it. So, there is one practice in Tamil Nadu, I don't know, many of you may not know. If some person repeatedly fails the examination and clearing at a very later time, he is always called a Ghazni Muhammad. So this kind of history we have read throughout our life, and now suddenly the court saying, no, you prove that Rama was born there. It is something which cannot be imagined. So therefore, there is one thing. This another aspect is, so it is therefore as per their own evidence, it is very clear that it is a Janmastan. Okay. Then, what about the structure? The parliament made a law saying there is a long time dispute between the Hindus and Muslims. We will acquire the land and hand over the land to whomever in this will suit. There was a, suppose it is established that the pre-existing temple was there, then we will hand over. In fact, the board, it is plain itself says Rama was not born there, but 50 meters away. Is that in plain? See, even I don't know how many we have what is known as this Panchayat Puja. I don't know how many people follow the 5 elements, 5 Shiva, Vishnu, like that 5 the form of stone, Mahaganati, Shakti, like that, Surya, by Anjaya Buddhas. If you do Panchayana Buddha regularly and you always carry it with you, within 200 meters, the entire area will be purified. The only problem is we don't have faith. We don't have faith in these things. Our faith is lacking. So, if that is so, Vishnu Avatar was born in that place. And what would have been the radiation? So, therefore, the moment, in fact, if you see the photographs of the structure before its demolition, it will clearly show that there are at least 18 to 19 pillars on which the building stood. It was all with Hindu carvings. Even we have Virat symbol over there. Suppose if it has been a Muslim structure, would they allow the Virat symbol? This Haram. Therefore, so the entire, subsequently, when the archaeological survey, when they examined this everything, they recovered all these things, and up to a particular level they went and found with the carbon noting and everything that even 2000 BC and other things, there are evidence of temple being there. Therefore, if you go by the archaeological evidence, the only conclusion is there was an existing temple in that site. There is no other conclusion. It is the finding is given by a body owned by government, body administered by government of India, and therefore it cannot be questioned by anybody. That is the next aspect. One more thing is, let us forget this evidence, everything. If there is a direct evidence of anything, suppose you ask when Mahatma Gandhi died, everybody will say on that day so and so. It is a fact. You don't have a faith that Mahatma Gandhi was probably after 1000 or 2000 years later, when it is disseminated it slowly in the course of time, it becomes a faith. So, for things which you have a direct proof, you cannot call it as faith. Therefore, the question we put was, can you ask somebody to prove his faith? That was the question that was directly addressed to the court. Rama was born there. Ramayana, everything is there. In fact, Ramayana, whatever we find today, was chanted by Lavakusha, as told by Valmiki. In fact, every page of Ramayana, this is there. So, Ramayana, this is of Ramayana, Rama, and his place of birth is in any event a matter of faith. And if you have that faith, under Article 25 of the Constitution, the state is bound to protect it. Otherwise, there is a need for Article 25. There is no need for Article 25. If I say I have to prove that Ganesha was there, only if you prove that Ganesha, I will give you the holiday for Ganesha Chaturthi. But it is not possible. If you ask other religions to prove their faith, will they prove? How can we ever? Faith emanates from conscience. That's what the Supreme Court has said. The faith emanates from conscience. And you believe certain things. It proceeds from your conscience. Can you ever? So, the protection of faith is, for example, for protection of faith, you see in fact the preamble to the Constitution itself, it has been clearly stated that will faith. So, the faith is important. Here, people unnecessarily confuse themselves with secularism. What is secularism? First of all, we should understand. Religion applies to whom? Secularism applies to whom? The religion applies to a person who has a body or a soul. If it's a dead wood or a thing without a body or a soul, the religion cannot apply. Therefore, because of your body and your soul, you apply religion to it. Therefore, by nature, for human beings, citizens, the religion applies. And the religious right is protected under Article 25. Now, you take a state, it is only a corporate soul. It has no body or a soul. So, by its very nature, a state cannot have a religion. But a citizen has a religion. So the state has to be secular. The religion, citizens have to be religious. And without understanding this concept, wherever it is possible, no, you be a secular man. Are you not violating Article 25? If anybody compels you to become a secular, that means to be non-religious. Secularism does not mean irreligiousness. Equal respect to all religions. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says all religions are true, and he has experienced by himself. So therefore, people unnecessarily mixing up this issue with the secularism. This is a secular country. Therefore, you being a secular country, you prevent my practice of religion, then it is clearly violated of Article 25. And therefore, if there is resistance from any force, then it will be unconstitutional, purely legal angle actually. So here, this issue never somewhat discussed by the bench of the Supreme Court. Whereas it is clearly said, a mosque can be lost by adverse possession. Adverse possession means 12 years if you are not in possession, then you lose your right. But the exception the Supreme Court itself, unless that particular place is very sacred to a particular religion. So it is nearly about 600 wars have happened since 1525 to protect this site. I think nobody can deny it is a sacred site for us. If a Muslim or the court says, no, this particular site is important to me, then they are violating Islam, because according to them, there is only one thing is sacred, which is Mecca. And by saying that this is very sacred to me, therefore, our submission is that it's purely a property rights as far as they are concerned, which they have lost. I think these are the overall issues that we have discussed. I think we hope to do much well before the Supreme Court also. Thank you.